Do it. Hey there, Saber fans, Shamim here. It is Senate time, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Darth Sidious Emperor Palpatine lightsaber hilt from Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. This particular hilt was manufactured by Peter Zhang of 89Sabers. As many of you know, Palpatine is my all-time favorite Star Wars character. I just think that Ian McDiarmid, the actor who played him, did a magnificent job portraying the evil Emperor of the universe. And I also feel like he is the master manipulator behind everything that transpired in the prequels and original trilogy. Regardless of what you think of the prequel movies in terms of acting and directing and editing and all that stuff, dialogue, there's a lot of garbage in there, I'm not gonna lie. But one thing that really works for me is the overall story itself. I feel George Lucas is a good storyteller, maybe not so good at the directing and the editing and the writing of scripts. But the overall story and how Palpatine manipulates everything and orchestrates the Clone Wars and his eventual rise to power and the extermination of the Jedi, I think is masterful. And so those are some of the reasons Palpatine is my favorite character. And so when Peter came out with the Darth Sidious Emperor Palpatine lightsaber hilt, I knew that I needed one in my personal collection just to represent my favorite character, Palpatine. Plus, it's just a really gorgeous, unique hilt. There isn't a single straight line anywhere. It's all curves, and the coloring is very unique. There doesn't seem to be any black. You know, normally with lightsabers you got your silver, you got your black, maybe a couple other accent colors here or there, a little bit of copper, a little bit of gold. But this one is basically all rose copper, chrome plate, polished brass. Really, really beautiful hilt. I had previously done a review video showing off the hilt when I got it empty from Peter, and I raved about how beautiful it was then, and it's still beautiful now, but what's even better about it is that it is now installed. We have a NBv4 soundboard. It's a deep red lime Luxon Tri-Rebel LED. You have two tactile activation switches here. The best part is that I used lit tactile switches, so it's currently in deep sleep mode. When you press one of the buttons, it'll boot up and the boot sound will play, and those two greeblies will light up, which is cool. It's an 18500 3.7 volt lithium ion battery, and then it's a 24 millimeter Railmaster bass speaker, which I modified so that it could fit in the pommel. And then a full 3D printed chassis. So it was pretty tight, but it was a very fun install to do. I got it done in a couple hours tonight in some free time that I had. I was just really feeling the Palpatine love, and so now I'm going to share it with you guys. We'll go over the hilt on the exterior just really briefly before we get her fired up. The hilt comes with two different emitters. I actually went ahead and asked him if I could have all three of the optional emitters, and he was very kind enough to supply me with all three. So you've got your display emitter, which has a super thin neck section up here. No blade will fit in here. But then it also comes with a 7/8 inch emitter, as well as a 1 inch emitter. This thing is basically solid brass that has been bored out and then plated in, this rose copper and this chrome. Everything is threaded, and except for the pommel, which is held on with the screw, but the screw goes through the pommel, and it's fitted perfectly tightly on here. So, like, throwing the 1 inch blade, I would duel with it. Like, I would heavy duel with it if I wasn't worried about scratching up the gorgeous finish. I think that this is sturdy enough for dueling. So that's a plus, which is really great. I would swing this guy around because it's heavy, it's solid, and it's well constructed. You've got your green and your red. This thing picks up fingerprints and smudges like nobody's business. The whole thing is polish plated, but it's very easy to wipe that off with a soft cloth. I love the pommel. It's like a chrysalis. It's like a cocoon. Like this is the end tail of some insect. It's a really beautiful and unique hilt. Definitely a single-handed hilt, although if you stretch, you can wrap both of your hands around it to dual wield, or to use two hands, as he does in some of the shots in the film. But yeah, let's get her fired up.
Are you threatening me, Master Jedi?
Yeah, buddy. You've got your green and your red. Now what's cool, you may notice that this red accent LED is just standard red, but the main LED is a deep red, so it looks a little pinkish on camera. And in person the difference is much less pronounced than here on camera. You can really tell that this is sort of a pink and this is a different shade of red. They're close enough in person, just these two little bits, that it doesn't make it look odd, but it is possible to see that they are two different shades of red, which is kind of cool. So you got three different colors going on here on your hilt. This is a sound font called Sidious, I believe is just what it's called. Now, both of these tactile switches have been wired up to serve as your main switch, so either one will turn it on. The green one or the red one. You know, you may want to go green for go and red for stop, but either way works. You've got muted mode. You can see there's still a little bit of blade flicker and shimmer going on. And of course you got your yellow flash on clash, but it is muted. Press and hold, wait for 2 beeps, it'll advance to the next sound font.
There is no mercy.
And this is my favorite Sidious sound font. Sidious No Mercy.
Strike me down with all of your hatred, and your journey towards the dark side will be complete.
Yeah, it will. And then dark meat, because y'all know I love dark meat. These lit tactile switches are the same ones that I used in my recent Adigalia video. They are from CIG. I don't remember what it stands for, but I'll put the link down below. They have them in a variety of colors with the bezels. I had to drill out. Oops, I was trying to turn off the accent LEDs. Anyway, they'll turn off when it goes back into deep sleep in 5 minutes. But one thing to know, if you're planning on doing this mod with the CIG lit switches, you will have to drill out and widen the existing hole, because the bezels that come with the 89Saber Sid, it's not wide enough to accommodate these lit switches. It has a wider plug. So just an FYI that you will need to do a wee bit of machining if you want to use the lit switches that are also tactile like this. Let's throw a blade in, and I have both 7/8 and 1-inch emitters here, or 1-inch blades here. We can take a look at both of those. There is an additional little sleeve. This is a 7/8 inch sleeve. The hilt inner diameter is 1 inch. So if you're going to be using a 1-inch blade, you'll want to take out the little sleeve. Let's go ahead and do the 1-inch blade first. So you've got your 1-inch emitter. The 1-inch emitter came with a very, very, very small retention screw. I didn't even have a tool small enough to be able to use it. So what I did was I drilled out that hole to accept an 832. And the reason I did that is because, you know, the whole point of having the very, very small screw was to sort of make it as unobtrusive as possible for display. But when I display this lightsaber, I'm going to be using the screen accurate display plug, which is accurate to the Master Replica's limited edition. So for my 7/8 and 1-inch emitters, it's okay for there to be a nice sized retention screw, so that it is, holy frack, it is solid. Oops. There you go. 2 little lit greeblies. You can tell again, deep red versus standard red. Really lovely flash on clash. This thing is so solid, oh my god! I feel like I got my own little crossguard. Teeny tiny, tiny little crossguards. Anyway. Let's switch to a different font.
Are you threatening me, Master Jedi?
I love that. That's my favorite line from... Not my favorite. It's one of my favorite lines that Palpatine speaks. Okay, that's enough with the 1-inch blade. Let's try the 7/8" blade. Loosen you. Ouchie pop. Let me make sure this retention screw stays in. Doesn't go flying out somewhere. Okay, so now we're going to do a 7/8" blade. I put a little O-ring in there because I machined this down a little bit to fit once I had the LED installed. So the O-ring helps to just fill it up and make sure that everything is nice and tight. Okay. No rattling, that's good. And your 7/8" blade goes all the way in. This guy again, nice and sturdy. I feel absolutely confident waving this around and hitting it against things. I cannot emphasize enough how solid this hilt feels. So if you're looking for a duel-worthy Sidious, 89Sabers is the way to go in my personal opinion.
There is no mercy.
So yeah, there you have it, guys. 89Sabers, Darth Sidious lightsaber hilt, with lit little greeblies here that also serve as your tactile switches. I'm extremely happy and proud of this build. Let me go ahead and show off the chassis real quick, so you can see what goes on inside. Okie dokie. So this little screw here, the entire, it looks like there's a screw inside of the bezel, but it's actually one machined piece. So it is a thumb screw. You unscrew that, and then your pommel slides off gently. So your speaker is in here. You gently pull the chassis out as far as you need. There's your recharge port. And then you can go in with tweezers to access your SD card there. And when you're done, line her up and put her back in. Oh, you're not quite aligned. There we go. Listen to yourself, Shamim. Line her up. I'm super happy with the hilt. It is smudged up with fingerprints, as you can see, but you wipe that off with a cloth, and it's good to go again for display. Super solid hilt. I believe it's all made of brass, which is really cool. It feels heavy, it feels sturdy, it feels real, it feels expensive and royal, just like Palpatine should be. Thank you all so much for watching, and may the Force be with you.